Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So the episode started where it left off last time with Melody trying to leave the event, which was Jalen's birthday gathering for the business side of the relationships that his parents have, and he kind of has too because he does work with his family. And Miss Wanda was out there arguing with Martell, and then Destiny was able to separate them. And Miss Wanda was like, yeah, I'm about to go over here to where Melody is. And Letitia is like, you don't need to worry about her. That's not your daughter. Her mama can do whatever she gonna do. That's not your place. And she wasn't trying to hear nothing she had to say. She rolled all the way up on Melody's truck and asked her, was she aware of the rumors that had been swirling about her husband and a baby? You know, that's basically what she was asking. But yeah, she was just like, have you heard the rumors? And Melody lied and said she ain't know nothing about all of that. And, kind of trying to save face and not really get into the specifics with Miss Wanda because y'all know she being nosy. That's why she was asking. It is what it is. So yeah. So anyway, she was like, no, I don't know nothing about all that. So then, she finally was going to go ahead and back off. And so Letitia was like, look, no matter what's going on, I'm sure she knows about whatever's going on. And if she don't, it's still not your business. She's not your child. So anyway, she was able to finally get her mama to come on back with her. And Destiny went out there to check on Melody and ultimately ended up leaving with her despite leaving all of her belongings behind. So everybody went back to the gathering except Destiny and Melody. And then Miss Wanda and Kimmy ended up getting into it. And Miss Wanda feels like she's entitled to speak and say whatever's on her mind, no matter where she is, even though she has not been invited. And Kimmy has been trying to explain to her, ma'am, you have not been invited and you've been out here doing the most. It is not about you. It is not about anybody but my son. And so she was like, what I have to say is what I have to say, and I'm going to say it no matter what's going on. And she's completely missing the point. So if nobody's ever noticed before, we can definitely see when moments like this unfold that Letitia get it honest from her mama. Why she thinks the way she thinks and behaves the way she thinks. And no matter how wrong she is going to try to convince you that she said what she said and she is right in saying what she's saying, even though ain't nobody asked her for this opinion. But anyway, I'm just like, girl, don't nobody have time for this foolishness. So anyway, sometime after that, Marceau felt the need to meet up with Kimmy to basically say, it is what it is. And, I'm not accepting of Wanda's behavior. And it was not cool how that went down and wanted to see how she felt about it. And she was just like, look, I mean, I ain't here for it. And if some more situations go down, just know that I'm not, going out of my way to invite her. And so he was like, oh, so you're, making it so she's not going to be able to come to anything anymore. And so she was like, he was like, okay, so you're sanctioning her. She was like, kind of, sort of. But I'm going to leave that up to Letitia to talk to her mother because I should be able to decide whether or not I want somebody to be invited to any function that I have. You can't just pop up. That was the point. You weren't invited. So, even within that back and forth she had with her, she was like, you were not invited. There was no reason for you to be here. And I was like, girl, I'm here for that because that's the truth. But yeah, I just hate how people want to try to dismiss her and say, oh, it's her mama. And I'm like, what they got to do with anything? Anyway, ain't nobody asked. She had no business being there. I don't understand why Letitia feel like because it's her mama, she should have a right to be there. Like, no, that ain't how this go. So anyway, Destiny is having a voter turnout type situation in the parking lot where her beauty supply store is located. And it's going to actually coincide with Halloween. So she wants to make it into a Halloween party. And she's consulting someone to kind of help bring the space together. And Martell rolls up and wants to talk to her. I'm not understanding why he apologized to her for his behavior. at the function when he got into it with Wanda, I'm just not understanding, because first of all, it wasn't her function. You should have went off rip to go and apologize to Jalen and his parents. I'm not understanding what he apologized to her for, but whatever. Anyway, he was just like, I felt like I needed to apologize and my behavior was not how it should have been, and and I'm just like, girl, what is this even about? Why? Then he starts to go into how nobody is understanding that Melody has cheated on him in the past. And so Destiny is trying to get him to understand, I'm gonna need for you to focus on what you've done. Yet again, because she's had to say this to him before, because he will literally be like, y'all ain't seeing what she did, but she did this though, but she did this though. And he's never trying to accept what he's done and focus on what he has done. That's the problem with a lot of people. They want to focus on everything else, what everybody else has supposedly done. Now, at this point, I don't know if I believe that she has been out here cheating within their marriage. She's already said before that she has dated someone when they were not together. So she's not understanding where he's getting this cheating from, because he literally was spreading butt cheeks and thighs and, risking bringing home diseases and, babies, So it's like, what are you talking about? But anyway, I'm just like, somebody please. Like, he just, get on my nerves. So obviously, since they're friends, she invited him to the function. He's going to be there. Essentially, she is well aware that Melody is probably going to be there and is hopeful that there won't be any drama. So then Marceau and Letitia are at the house and they're talking, and she feels some type of way about what happened at Jalen's graduation gathering. And Marceau then tells her that he actually spoke with Kimmy and discussed Wanda's behavior and all this other stuff. And so she took offense and was like, I don't understand why she can't come to me. I'm just like, girl, your husband went to her because your mama always go off the rails. Like, be glad that he even has tried to reach out to her to, basically, he was the one who has apologized for your mama's behavior when you should have off rip came to her that same day and was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'll never do that again. I knew I was wrong. But you don't think that you're wrong. That's the problem. You never think that you're wrong in doing these stupid things that you do. So, girl, bye. So anyway, she get in her feelings and she was like, I don't understand why she wouldn't come to me and tell me all these things. It's my mom, so she should come to me and talk to me about these things. So she basically talking about she done with her friendship with Kimmy. And so Marceau, y'all, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I hate how right he has basically been this entire season. Normally, I ain't here for nothing this man says out his lips ever. But this whole season, he has taken accountability for a lot of things. He has been speaking truth, and I just can't. So anyway, he straight up told her, why is it that you are ready to cast somebody aside and just say, I ain't gonna be friends with them anymore, when you have tried over and over again to be friends with Melody? The least Kimmy deserves is at least one additional chance. Like, you doing the most. And she talking about, well, I don't know about all that. And basically when she heard that her mama was going to be sanctioned from future events, she was like, well, I'm sanctioning Kimmy from any future events. Like, girl, you was wrong. Didn't nobody invite your mama? If your mama was meant to be invited, then she would have been invited. And you dead wrong inviting her to another event. And she gonna sit up here and talk about, well, I invite them to everything. I invite my mom to all. I'm like, girl, it's your mama. You have the right to invite your mama to whatever event you want to invite her to that y'all are throwing. Why aren't you understanding that it's not your event? So you don't have a right to be in your feelings. Like, you just don't. No matter how you want to try to spin it, you ain't got the right to be mad. You ain't got the right to feel the way that Kimmy feels, because that moment was about her son and her husband and their achievements. So what was the point of you? She was like, well, I invite my mama everywhere. Girl, why? Didn't nobody asked for her to be there. Every time you look up, you know your mama's starting some drama, so why? So anyway, he tried to tell her, you need to just not sit up there and make a hasty decision because you in your feelings right now. Whether she gonna actually take heed, I don't know, but whatever. She just on my nerves. And they brought up the fact that, they are still building on that house, and it hasn't even really started with that process because she does not apparently understand how it goes when you're building a house, like from the ground up. Meaning the trees have to be removed, the ground has to be a certain way. You can't just throw something together, throw it up there today, and then think it's gonna work. Like, no. So he told her that they're going to be in that small house that they're in right now for a couple of years. And so she looking like a couple of years, a few years. So I'm just like, girl, I feel like in her mind, she thinks that it will be okay even in this moment, even though they're trying to build something that should last for the rest of their lives. So they'll have to keep moving from house to house every season or every other season. Then she would think it's perfectly fine to go to a whole nother house and throw money at that until their house is built so that they can get a bigger home. Apparently one of their son's room smells like a dog or something. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, it's like close quarters, and I don't know if it's stinking clothes or it's just close quarters and ain't enough ventilation going on. But yeah, she and her feelings about that. But yeah, girl, please understand how the process goes. Be glad that you are in a situation where a house is being built from the ground up for you and your family. Be glad. There are a lot of people who cannot afford that, will never be able to afford that no matter what they do. So be happy, because a lot of people cannot afford it and ain't gonna never get it. So be glad. Anyway, so Melody is at her new home, and her brother is there, and they're talking. He's actually taking up some carpet. They're gonna be replacing some carpet in the house, and they're talking, and she brought up a conversation that her children came to her with, which was one time they were going to exchange the kids, and her husband had the audacity to have been talking to their children about their uncle, which is her brother. And he said something about their uncle liking boys. And it's like, what was the point of you bringing that up to the kids? I don't even understand what the point of that was supposed to be. That don't even make no sense. So she said she promptly called him and cussed him out, because it's like, what would you talk to them about that for? I don't understand. But anyway, so they were talking, and eventually she asked him, if he wanted to come to Destiny's event. And she was definitely inviting him and all of that. Yeah, I think that's trifling. That's nothing for you to be talking to small kids about. Like, what they got to do with anything? So anyway, today is the day of the mommy business podcast, or whatever it's called, that Letitia has going on. For those of y'all who actually have dealings with her podcast, are there cameras there outside of when the show is filming? Because I know some podcasts are actually visual to where you could see their faces, because she did the most with this makeup. The hair was towed down, in my opinion. I was just like, girl, but I know my hair towed down in this moment, but I don't know what in the world this pink piece of mess wrapped in with some mess supposed to be on her head. Look like a mess. But anyway, the makeup doing a whole lot, and I'm just like, why? Like, are there cameras rolling? Like, I don't understand. But anyway, so she has invited Destiny and Kimmy, and she was asking Destiny, how has it been for her to work during the pandemic and be pregnant and have a baby all while all this stuff is going on. And so we learned that she had preeclampsia, and so she had to, end up being on bed rest for a lot of the time while she was pregnant. And the hardest part for her was being pregnant. But, she, didn't really have many issues that she had to worry about. And, it was kind of scary. The fact that she was going to have to be in the hospital and all that, all this stuff going on in the world. Like, it's a lot. You can't have a whole lot of people there anymore in support of you having your kids and all that stuff anymore. So it had to have been hard. And then she went on to talk to Kimmy about her son graduating during this time. And so Kimmy eloquently stated that, despite the fact that they were proud that, her son and her husband graduated from school and they had all these things going for themselves, they could not celebrate it how they normally would. And, it just is what it is. And then eventually they got into an argument because despite the lie that Letitia told her husband, which was that she was not going to bring up the sanctioning on the podcast, she's lied talking about, oh, well, I'm going to say something about it afterwards. This heifer brought it up during the podcast when Destiny, was stirring the pot, as Kimmy said, and brought it up because Kimmy thought that everything was going well until that happened. But they going back and forth to the point where I was just like, girl, this is too much. And I mean, it is what it is. It's like, girl, you mad. Didn't nobody invite your mama. You knew you was wrong. It is what it is. No matter what you say, you ain't had no business inviting your mama to somebody else's event without their knowledge, without checking with them first. Didn't nobody account for her being there, and don't nobody be wanting her to be there because she be doing the most. So anyway, they're going back and forth, and she had to let her know, I didn't come to your husband with nothing. Your husband came to me and brought up this subject. You try to make it seem like I done came out of nowhere and I'm airing out these grievances about your mama. Your husband came to me about this. Your mama out of pocket. It is what it is. So anyway, they done went back and forth. The most is going on. Destiny's looking very uncomfortable, even though she's the one who stirred the pot and brought it up and all of that. And it's just like, girl, the most is going on during this podcast. And so Destiny had to say, well, yeah, I'm going to have to go get my child and feed my child and all this other stuff to kind of throw the situation off. So anyway, now we are at the day where the Halloween party voter registration / get out the vote type situation is going on at Destiny's beauty supply store parking lot. And child, I roll my eyes so hard. So Cedric, however you say his name, he's there with his wife, and he is dressed up like a Starbucks barista, and his wife is dressed up, I guess, like a cup of coffee or something. And he said something about how he's trying to be he's portraying the prize husband that he is or something he said. I was like, you are not the prize. I can't, because all the cheating, it's all the cheating and it's like, sir, it kills me how, I'm not even gonna do it, y'all. I'm not even gonna do it. Y'all can get down in the comment section. I think somebody gonna read my mind and know exactly where I was going with this. Because I'm not even gonna say it. But anyway, you ain't no prize, sir. You was over here cheating on your wife day in and day out. I can't. The audacity. But anyway, so Martell came and he was dressed up like a pharaoh and all this other Egyptian, if you want to say that, whatever. And Marceau has on a construction worker's outfit, I guess you could say. And yeah. It was funny how one of them said that, Marceau said that Destiny's outfit was a Batgirl or Batwoman outfit. She said it's Catwoman. Okay, so I don't know if anybody gonna be in here that's gonna know about this and will be able to agree with me on this, but this is what I've learned. A lot of people always thought that Catwoman had cat ears. Well, in all honesty, initially, now if she has cat ears now, okay, but initially what we were seeing were her goggles that were kind of perched up, and she just looked like a cat. It was supposed to be her cat reflexes and all that stuff, and just her ability to be how she was being. That was her being Catwoman, not the fact that she had some ears. It was literally like goggles, or y'all know what I'm talking about, them things she had on her head. But that's what she's had on, and that's what people have thought were cat ears forever. But it literally has been some night vision goggles or whatever those are, binoculars, goggles, or whatever it is that she had on, in all honesty, and it wasn't cat ears. At least to begin with, that's not what it was. That's a fun fact. I'm into stuff like that. I live for Batman. certain things like that, so I kind of can't help it. And yeah, that's a fun fact. I like learning stuff like that. Anyway, but yeah, so Melody's brother showed up because, again, he was invited by his sister. I'm pretty sure she passed it through to Destiny. And I mean, it was kind of like an open event anyway because it was about voting. So he politely went up to Martell and was talking to him, and you know, they started off all right, but then it went and took a terrible left turn, and he was just like, I don't appreciate how you came at, you know, the kids talking about me. With no reason for you to bring up nothing that I do as far as anything when it comes to those kids. Like, what was the point of you bringing up my life to the kids? And he said last time, one of the times that the kids were over there spending time with them, they told his husband that they wished that he was his daddy. Martell went all the way off. He was tied in his spirit, and he told him that if you ever say something like that again, I'm gonna beat your behind. And it was just threats back and forth. So yeah, ended terribly. And I was just like, oh my. So anyway, y'all, yeah, that was the recap review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Please like this video, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't. Y'all have a good one. Bye.